All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're here for the Hood Report. Want to welcome on all of our viewers today, our viewers here in the United States, our viewers in the emerging market for us, Bangladesh. Shout out to Bangladesh. And then also, we've had a large growth in audience from a women perspective. So 20% of our viewers recently have been women. So shout out to all the women that are tuning in. And then lastly, we have India that is up and emerging as a market for us. So want to welcome those that may be watching from India and say, hey, welcome to the Hood Report. For today, we're actually going to talk some really hot shit as the NBA playoffs are heating up and things are really getting off and going. We had some good theatrics. Well, I don't know if it was theater, but it was a good change of pace. Last night, we had another big game today. So we're going to talk both of those series and really go into depth on those. And then lastly, we're going to talk the drama that's been this week, which is the situation with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. We're going to touch on that and get our respective thoughts. So with that, we welcome everyone on today. We're going to just jump right into it. We got a hot game coming up in a couple hours today. So I would ask each of you, and we'll go around. Mark, why don't you hit this one first, but what are the keys to the Knicks' victory tonight? Martin, what you got?
Bench, and he stuck with Robinson a lot. I think he stuck with Robinson a little bit too long. But after the first two games, still feeling good because one thing about us, we have shown that we are good on the road, and we are 5-1. I mean, and people on this podcast, they know that we are good on the road. So I'm still feeling good. Yeah. Take one game at a time, and I think we will bounce back tonight.
Well, I did pick New York to win the series, but Cat can't guard nobody. Brother can't guard nobody. What's going on? Wow. I don't understand. Wow. That's why they went on the court, because they can't guard nobody. So they need to get it together. They need to get together. If they lose tonight, this is a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh, for sure. New York. They lose tonight, yeah, for sure. But they ain't gonna lose tonight. They're gonna win tonight. We are one of the best gold teams in the playoffs. So let's keep it real.
There you go.
We are the best road team in the playoffs.
And I hope they win tonight.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know, but what that boy, what they still got Cam on the floor for?
Cool.
That's cool.
Cam. No, Cam.
That's good.
Cam?
That's cool. Can we hear you, Rob?
Yeah, can you hear me?
The lefty that shoot
I
air balls.
can hear you. Your face is still. You're not. The camera hasn't caught up, but I can hear you.
All right. Okay.
You know that boy, the lefty that shoot air balls and shit.
Oh boy, no. Look here. I'm feeling real good about. I'm feeling real good about my Knicks. I'm telling you, because the first two games, the first game we gave away, second game that game could have went either way. But we did a poor job of executing guarding Siakam, especially late. I mean, you can't leave him when he's been hot both games. So, but we're gonna get it together tonight, and like I say, we will get this dub tonight.
But
I hope so.
I hope they win tonight, because I want to see some basketball. I don't want to just see basketball in, because a team can't even perform when they're supposed to be performing. So I'm gonna hope that they win too. You know what I'm saying? But I did pick Indiana to win this series. I just want that to go on record. I did pick Indiana to win this series, and the Knicks screwed up that first game. They really did. Had them dead to right. I tell you what, I was so confident that the Knicks had won the game that I was so disgusted. Not really disgusted. I just wanted to see a game, and I'm like, oh, this is over with. I ain't no sense in watching it. I went off and had a conversation. and come back, and the game is in fucking overtime. I'm like, what the hell happened? That's how much I thought that they won that game. So they really screwed up their first game. So I'm hoping they come back and bounce back for the night.
Well, let's just be honest. You was disgusted because they was winning, and you don't want to see them win. So let's just be honest. Can we be honest one fucking time? You was disgusted.
I was disgusted because I want to see a good game. I don't like to see lopsided stuff.
Well. The one thing I tell you about the Indiana series and the Indiana Knicks series, it's been 2 good games. I don't know what you've been watching. It's been 2 good games.
Yeah, it was good. No. It's been good.
It's been 2 good games.
Oh, it's been great games.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying was, the Knicks had such a lead.
Mm-hmm.
It was no they should have screwed that off.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
The game was over with. You know, I'm like, this is over with.
That
totally. I didn't want to spend the rest of my time watching it, and then I'm hearing cheering on the TV. I'm like, damn, that's a hell of a replay. Let me go check this out. And it's overtime going on. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Rod, you can hear us, but I think you're still.
Yeah, I can hear.
Can you flip that other camera back? How you did it before you? Because maybe that's the one where it gives you your other stuff. That other one, maybe. So yeah, that'll be
What's it doing
now on that one. Yeah, now that one, that's the one right there.
All right, you able to see me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
yeah, the other one is just still dead in the corner, but fuck it. At least we can see you moving around.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All right, Coco.
All right, so we got so did everybody go around on the Knicks? Tweety, I don't think I heard you, Tweety. What you got for this game tonight?
I told them what I had to say about them Knicks. They know what I had to say. I wanted them to win. So yeah.
So you still going with your Knicks and 6, Tweety, or are you pushing that out again?
No, they got to go to 7. They going to 7 now. Knicks and 7.
Don't go too far yet because we're going there. So we're gonna do the progression. Okay. So keys to Knicks victory tonight. What I would say for me is they have to get big production out of all of their starters because they don't play their bench. Tibbs don't play the bench. So without Tibbs playing the bench, then the starters are paramount. So I think very, very important that they do that. So I would say, okay, that's on the Knicks side. The Knicks want to get a victory. We've hit that. So now flip it. If the Pacers want to take a commanding lead in the series, because once you get up 3-0, that's it. Checkmate at 3-0. So if the Pacers want to take a 3-0 lead tonight, then what are the keys to them doing so? Go ahead, Tweety. Why don't you hit that one first?
The keys for if Indiana, it has to be Halliburton. Maybe Daddy come back.
Oh, they ain't let that nigga back. They ain't let that nigga back in the stadium.
Not this year.
They done fucked up.
They let the Daddy back.
He'd be lucky if they let him back next year or the year after.
Okay.
Not this year.
Yeah, he ain't making it back.
He gonna have to come back and do it again. He gonna have to score at least 30 points. Him and the role players, they gonna have to step up and make it happen at home. You know what I mean? It's the first game at home. I think they're gonna come back. They gonna play that fast pace that they've been playing, and they just gonna turn up the speed, turn it up, and they gotta run them out the building. They have to, and then they're gonna attack. They're gonna attack Brunson, and they're gonna attack Cat again. So they're gonna have to run them out the building because they can't guard nobody. Those two, they going after them two.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling that.
I think Brunson do okay on defense. I think Brunson is okay on defense.
Indiana is one of the first 2 games because they done had people step up. I mean, and it just ain't been Halliburton because Halliburton was kind of laid back the last game. But in the first game, it was the boy Neesmith. I mean, he shot 8 for 9 from 3-point range. Second game, it was old boy Siakam. So every game they have that one player, and that's the thing about them. They have a lot of offensive players that, I mean, they did this all year long. They can score the basketball. So with them, they keep doing what they're doing because, like I say, out of what the 7 or 8 players that their scores, usually 1 or 2 of them is gonna have some good games. So for them, they're a scoring team. They beat you on the opposite side of the ball, and that's what they've been doing. Now, can they keep on shooting the ball so well? That's going to be yet to be seen. But so far, so good. I mean, they've been shooting the ball. They've been shooting lights out the ball. They've been doing their thing.
Robinson been playing real tough in down in that paint with them rebounds and stuff like that. So they gotta get him.
Robinson's been no. Robinson has been a key. I mean, like especially like that last game too.
Yeah, he was.
He actually played good, but see,
real good.
I still think Thibodeau messed up because he played him a little bit too much. Don't get me wrong. I mean, and I mean, like I said, he was doing good, but you still got to get your star and Cat the ball and let him get loose.
But they were doing pick and roll on him. They were doing pick and roll on the whole time.
But they left him on the floor too long. Yeah, but they left him on the floor too long because they need some scoring from Cat. So I think Thibodeau messed that up last game. But I think he will learn from his mistake. And yeah. But the word is too today that they're thinking about not starting no boy. So I don't know. I like Hart in the starting lineup. They're saying that Hart might not start it and they might start Robinson. So we'll see if they go through with that. I don't think that would be a good idea, but we'll see if they do. I mean, if they do go through with that, because I like Robinson actually coming off the bench. I think he brings that energy that you need off the bench. And actually, Thibodeau he been playing 8 players, so he been playing 8 players. So I mean, for him, that's good for him.
You ain't lying. That's commendable.
Yeah, but Hart is the heart and soul of that team right there. He do everything for them.
Yeah, he do. He's the bruiser, everything. You're right. He most definitely is that guy.
Rebound, assist, go to basket. He do everything for him. So
yeah, I like her.
I don't know about that now.
Rod, I want to. Is it okay if I jump in here on the on the keys? Because I did pick these guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I did pick these guys. So
you picked the Pistons.
It's gonna be very hard. It's gonna be very hard. Man, that's hard. That's hard love. Yeah. We can go tit for tat. There's some teams you picked too that didn't go nowhere neither. So we'll just leave that alone for right now. We talking about these.
I'm gonna bring it up. But go ahead.
What about the Clippers? Didn't you pick them?
Yeah, but I'm talking about versus the Knicks. You had a Pistons versus the Knicks, but go ahead.
It's a loss, but it's a loss. Okay, so like I say, the keys. It's gonna be really hard. Because today, they should be inspired by what they watched last night on TV and seeing how Minnesota came out with that heart and hustle. So I do believe that Knicks will come out with that same intensity. It's going to be imperative if they try to get this game that they're going to have to match that intensity. You know what I'm saying? Because the Knicks is going to come out, like a scrappy dog in the corner with nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't. This is it for them. You know what I'm saying? They lose this fucking game. So I do believe that, for the Indiana, they're going to have to not only survive that first punch, but match that intensity because Nick's going to come out like a motherfucker. Hey, Jalen Brunson been balling this whole series. They have no answer for him. They have no answer for him at all. So Jalen Brunson really been doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to look for not only Halliburton and Siakam to have good games, but how about McConnell? Little point guard. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody worry about McConnell. You sound silly as hell.
Hey, McConnell be playing good.
Nobody worry about McConnell. Please, you serious? Out of all the scores, out of all the fucking scores the Indiana game, you talk about McConnell, really?
Hey, he played excellent the last game. He played excellent the last game. So all right. I'm just saying he one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? I look for to to light up behind that line behind Seattle. He's breaking down the defense, Martin. He was doing all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He put pressure on. He's put a lot of pressure on him. So I don't know what game you was watching, but the game I was watching, that's what I seen out of it. So I liked it. I like to see it. So go ahead. That's my thoughts on the keys for Indiana winning. I still think tonight the Knicks gonna win this game tonight. Because they got to. There's no choice. Just like Minnesota came out last night and turned on a gear that we hadn't seen out of them all playoffs because they had to.
But they was at home too, so. I don't know.
Still, Tweety, they turned on a gear that we hadn't seen. They played.
The Knicks are better on the road. So far in the playoffs, the Knicks been better on the road. So they're gonna step it up tonight.
They better be.
I hope so.
They will be.
Them to win the series.
They will be.
One of the things that's gonna have to happen, I think, for Indiana, for them, they shot the ball very well. So they shot from the 3-point line 40% in both games. They shot 40% in game 1, and then 43% in game 2 from the 3-point line. So that is a trend that Indiana needs to have happen in order for them to win. And then I think also Indiana's actually went toe-to-toe with them on rebounding. The Knicks should be dominating them on rebounding, and they're not. The Knicks have been getting their offensive rebounds, but they've been giving them up to Indiana as well. So I think the Knicks got to better control that if they're going to get themselves an opportunity. I mean, the Pacers have to keep that close again in order to give themselves a chance to win and go up 3-0. The Knicks are going to come out desperate team tonight, as teams do when they're down 2-0 because they know it's over at 3-0. So they're going to be desperate. So I think, the desperation level that the Knicks come with, if they dominate the boards, then I think the Knicks have a good chance to be able to they have a chance to win. But then Indiana, if they control it, then Indiana has a chance to be able to win tonight and go up 3-0. It's going to be difficult. I really think the Knicks win, but we'll see.
Yeah, you think it's going to be a close game, Rob? What you think?
I think it's going to be a close game. I think this is going to be. I mean, both the first 2 games have been nip and tuck, so I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the end, and it's just going to be the power of a diverse group of people versus Brunson, and then Cat gonna have to chip in to get a Knicks chance. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I think
Miles.
Go ahead, Tweety.
Well, I think Miles Turner he been balling, so he got to come back out tonight and get at least 20 points tonight for them to win, because he's been balling. He's been balling.
Yeah, I would agree. He's been balling. I think Siakam kind of adds a whole new dimension to him. So for them, they need him to show up tonight too if they're going to pull it off. Because there's nothing harder than beating a desperate team. So
exactly, because they desperate. Yeah. The Knicks desperate tonight.
So
desperate, they're gonna get the win.
Nick lose tonight.
We're gonna get the win.
Nick lose tonight. Is it over?
It's over.
They go down 3-0. Yeah, of course it's over.
Absolutely.
Back from that, but
they still might take it 7. They still might go 7, but it's still gonna lose.
But after tonight,
if it is not going 7 games, they lose tonight.
After tonight, when it's 2-1, they right back in the series.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
okay. So
right back in the series.
So this begs the question. So the series is 2-0 now. You look at last year, the Pacers beat the Knicks, right? Knocked them out of the playoffs. That was where the Knicks got knocked out of the playoffs. This year, the Pacers come out and on the road win the first 2. Are the Pacers just flat out a better team than the Knicks, contrary to the Knicks making their changes, or is it something else?
No.
What do you think?
They're definitely a scrappier team. I can tell you that much. They scrappy and hustle hard.
They ain't no scrappier team. They just look.
Look. I think they better.
That's some bullshit. Niggas up 14 with fucking 2.5 minutes, and they just caught fire at the right time. That's all that was. I mean, and you probably won't never ever see that again. Motherfucker up 14 points in 2.5 minutes, and then Neesmith hit
other team
6 threes.
Let they drive.
I mean, come on.
I think they let their guard
That
down.
won't happen.
I've never seen it before. So all right. So hey, what do you think, Tweety?
Knicks got caught slipping.
Are the Pacers a better team, or is it safe to say that, or what do you think?
No, the Pacers not a better team. They are a team overall, period, because they've been through it last year, so they trying to get through it this year against New York. I think it's an even matchup, but it's just Indiana wanted more. They wanted it more in that first game, and they wanted it more in the second game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would say that I don't think the wanted more. I think the Knicks are sloppy. The Knicks are sloppy,
especially the first game.
Yeah, the Knicks are sloppy. All right, Q, why don't you finish it up on what you think? Are the Pacers a better team, or Pacers a better team after last year and up 2-0 this year, or not? Is it safe?
Hey, don't lie. Hey, games don't lie. So they don't won the 2 games. They at least, I think they're a better team. I picked them to win. Of course, I think they're the better team because I don't believe the Knicks have any business being here. Nah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
That's just that hate because they whoop your boy's ass. That's it. That is the hate because they whoop your boy's ass. That's all that is.
They playing above their rank.
Because what's funny is
humbled.
What's funny is you over here talking about the Pacers, they're scrappy and they're just such a good team.
They are.
And then you had them losing the first round to the Bucks. So don't get about all this stuff. But you know what? Y'all need to quit it.
Hey,
I was the only person that picked the
sir.
Pacers. So I mean, TV make it this far because all three of y'all had them losing to the Bucks. So stop.
You're right.
In my
You're right.
defense,
Now
I did have them losing to the
Yeah,
Bucks.
true.
Sir, in my defense,
Now all of a sudden they're so scrappy. Oh, they're so good. Oh my God, Halliburton.
No, we didn't have to say all that.
Sir, in my
They ain't
defense,
say all that now.
in my defense,
Well,
you picked the
this clown,
Clippers
he
to win,
said, watch this.
right? You picked the Clippers to beat Denver, and when they lost, you jumped on Denver's train. So what difference is that? That's no difference. Come on, man.
Only difference is we're talking about Indiana and New York right now. So that's the difference. That's the difference.
Still, I mean, we all jump on teams. We have no choice.
So the elephant in the room on the Knicks. Do we think the Knicks are in this position because Tibbs played them too much during the course of the season, as he normally does, or do we think that doesn't have anything to do with it?
I think Tibbs just messed up the last game. I think he did mess up the last game, leaving Cat out of the game for that long, and then to bring him back and then expect him to come back in the fourth quarter when he's out of rhythm and stuff like that. I think the last game he did mess that up. But besides that, I don't have no problem with Tibbs, but I do have a problem with that. But the first game, no, they had nothing to do with Tibbs. That just had to do with Naismith shooting 8 for 9 from 3-point range and them scoring 20 points in the last 2 minutes. That's all that was.
Yeah. All right. What you think?
I believe it do. It do got something to do with Tibbs. You can't play 8 players, 7 players in the playoffs, and have them playing 40.
Well, what I would tell you is this: is normally, traditionally, you only play 8 players in the playoffs. I mean, Indiana is different. They're playing 10, but normally you only play 8 players in the playoffs. I think what happens is during the season, you could argue that he doesn't go deep enough, which then wears him out once you get into the playoffs. That's been historically what they say about Tibbs' teams, is that he wears his teams out during the regular season so that they don't have it in the playoffs.
You know what? I think at the beginning of the season, he was running them boys in the dirt. He was. And then he started to get a little bit better with it towards playoff time, started getting a little bit better with the rotation. But yeah, like you say, he's notorious for doing it. I don't know if it's playing in it. To me, I just think the Knicks have went as far as they're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? They have just sometimes a team, just like my Pistons, you just gonna go as far as you're gonna go. The start, I'm not even about to go there. I'm gonna wait and see till the rest of this series is over with because I got a sermon about this team. But I'm gonna wait for this. I'm gonna wait right now. Yeah. Yeah. I got a little. Okay. Have me a Stewart stew.
Hey,
but right now, every other team play more than 8 players in this games.
No. Well, OKC does, and Indiana does. Traditionally, though, everybody play. You shorten your bench to 8. You play 8 in the playoffs.
But it's not traditional no more.
Yes, it is.
But the thing is, I mean,
yes, it is.
We're saying this, but we're saying
it's not traditional.
We're saying this, and we're in the Eastern Conference Final. I mean, we're asking this, and we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. If that was the case, I don't think we'd have made it this far. I'm just saying.
All right.
Sometimes the stars align for you. Sometimes trees fall and out the wood so you can just walk right through them. Things happen sometimes. Now, what will be the biggest tragedy about what has happened if they don't make nothing happen of it? Because the stars have aligned for your boys. If they screw this off, hey, it's on them.
I would say this: screw it off. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So it ain't like they get knocked out the first round. They're in the Eastern Conference, and nobody picked them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they're playing with house money. Indiana playing with house money, and Minnesota playing with house money. The only team that's expected to be where they are. But the injuries happen every year. You can't say about injury. Injuries happen every year. When you go back to the team that was supposed to be the greatest team in the 2000s, Golden State got their start because Chris Paul and all them got hurt along the way, right? You can't say injuries are part of the game. No, you can't.
But you can say something about injuries.
Injuries are part of the game.
And the reason why you can say something about it is because the stars have aligned for them.
It's a part of the game.
Have made a way for them to be where they're at. Now, if they need to take full advantage of it, they should. But
you can say that every year, though.
That don't make no.
But you can say that every year.
What you're saying?
Yeah, you can say that every year.
No. But you're talking about injuries and this and that because you're talking about Tatum getting hurt. But when they was up 3-1 on Boston with Tatum, but now because because he had hurt at the end. Now it's
Yeah.
said, oh yeah, he's
over.
no please
Yeah.
get out of here.
They got-
They
wasn't
lost
over.
it because they were the better team. That's why
they got
beat
up
the
3-1
Pistons
for a
because they were the
reason.
better team.
They got up 3-1. They got up 3-1 for a reason. All right, but hey, look.
It was
Well,
a 3-1 for a reason.
Okay, go
All
ahead,
right,
Rob.
we beat the hell out of this one. We're gonna come back to this because everybody's passionate about this, and we're gonna weigh in at the end on picking the game and all that. But let's transition over. Hey, we saw some hell of a shit last night. You had OKC getting their ass whooped by 43 fucking points by Minnesota. So Minnesota showed up. So when you look at the game last night, hey, what were the keys that you saw to the victory, Tweety?
It wasn't no keys. It wasn't no keys at all. They
No
just
keys.
they just was damn.
What?
They
No
was
keys.
they was just backed up to the corner. They was backed up to the corner and they had to
No
fight their way
keys.
out because if they would have lost,
Fighting is a
it
key.
would have been over.
Yeah.
It would have been over.
Well-
Y'all, and we see this every year.
Well-
We see this every year. If you lose
No
two,
keys.
you got to win the third or whatever.
Well, what
whatever,
happens
whatever.
is this though. They say, and this is the old traditional thing. The series don't start until a whole team loses. So all OKC did was protect their home court. So they ain't do nothing special. They won by 20, but they already protect their home court. So now Minnesota has got to protect theirs. So you say no keys. It's just they were desperate. Okay, so
they were
they
just
were home. So
desperate. They were just
all right, Mark. Let's see what you get. Mark, what you had on that one? Then Q, we go to you next.
Minnesota
You
came
think
out
you think you can pull out a key, Martin?
Minnesota they came out and they were just very aggressive on the defense side of the ball and the offense side of the ball, but defense especially because they had Gobert out there playing the ball up top, which in the first two games he didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
Even Ant-Man, they was being more aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. They was attacking when they were doing that pick and roll, and they were desperate. So if you throw desperate and being aggressive, together,
That shit won't happen next game.
And then they came out, and then also they came out, and then they Ant-Man he started off fast. No, he came out shooting threes, but he was just you could tell in his offensive game that he was a lot more aggressive.
He was.
And then when you get back home too, those role players come in and they get more aggressive as well. So it was a team victory for sure, but they were aggressive offensively and defensively. I think really defensively, that's what set the tone to me.
Yeah.
Because they came out and they really attacked them. And they didn't lay back because in the first two games they was playing that zone and they was laying back. But in this third game, they came out and they was a lot more aggressive defensively. And to me, that's what got it all started.
And I'm gonna hit that part a little bit more too, but I'm gonna go to Quentin first. Go to Q first. Q, what you got?
What I got? Let me hit you with this. The intensity of Minnesota yesterday was out of control. I don't know the last time I watched a game with that much intensity and a turnaround of a team, but it was fucking awesome to see. It was awesome to see. They changed the whole fucking defensive scheme. First game, they let Kildress walk on down the lane, do his little Kobe Bryant impression and all that bullshit. The second game, you know what they did? They moved everything out a little bit. They had Gobert meeting them up high, a little bit higher, making that so when he come off that pick and roll, not to have that space that he was having from before. Second game, Julius Randle got benched. He say he respects the coach's decision, this, that, and the other, but he was benched non-factor. His ass was in there balling this game. It was a total change. Nas Reed looked like the fucking sixth man that he fucking got the award for last year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That motherfucker was balling. He had two big crucial 3-pointers and really was doing his thing. So, OKC will, they took their shot, so they will, match more intensity next game. So Minnesota will have to be ready for that. But, I really was impressed with Minnesota's overall game.
Right.
And that's what I take.
No, I think some valid points there too. I would say I think the point that's been hit on the defensive side for Minnesota, I agree with that totally. One of the things that you saw in the game yesterday that you didn't see in the first two games because they were laid back, like Martin said, in zone, is you saw they were challenging that mid-range shot. Before the first two games, they didn't challenge that mid-range shot. So every time Shea broke the zone, he had a wide open mid-range shot. Yesterday, you saw him get blocked probably 2 or 3 times with that mid-range shot. So they were up on that shot and playing very aggressive. The other thing that as Martin said, is they extended their defense where they were trapping the pick and roll, that screen up top, And then secondly, they were trapping that, but then they were actually shooting the lanes and shooting the gaps, which they didn't do before. They played more passively. And then last thing I think from a defensive perspective is the tone was set by Ant. Like Ant came out and in the first 3 minutes he had 3 dunks on breakaways where he ran the lane, ran the passing lane. Andor came out and got hands and then was able to deflect the ball and then go down and get a dunk. So I think that set the tone. And then you throw that on top of they made shots. They were 20 for 40 from the 3-point line yesterday. Whereas the first 2 games they shot 20-something% combined. They shot 50% from the 3-point line yesterday. So everybody, the home cooking. You got the role players playing better. None of the role players really had a big game, but they all had a solid game. Like DiVincenzo hit 2 threes. You had Nas Reed, as you said, Quinn, hit a couple of threes. You had Ant come out and his 3 was on. So it was just a little bit every. And I'll tell you, low key, nobody mentioned this. You know who else came and played a big role yesterday? Shannon played a big role. Shannon came and played a big role. He in the first half, when the game was still in doubt, in 4 minutes worth of play, he had 9 points. So Shannon played huge yesterday, and I thought he gave him good minutes in that game. So I think that was key. And they knew the desperation situation. Tweety, I agree with that. You can't fight that. But what I would tell you is the key is I think they made changes, they made adjustments, and those adjustments led to the victory. Not necessarily desperation; it's the adjustment they made. Because you could be desperate, and if they had played the same way they played the first 2 games, they'd be down 3 games to none. They made adjustment, and that coupled with the desperation, I think, made a difference. So I would say next question we look at is if as you look at the next game coming up, if you take and you say SGA and Ant-Man cancel themselves out, who's going to be big in the next game for both sides for them to be able to get a win? What you got, Q?
For the next game, I think it's going to be it's going to be OKC. It's got to be Kid Gildress. He kind of got punked a little bit,
I'm saying, but if you take the 2 of them out, I'm saying you take the 2 of them out. Take the 2 of them out. He gonna come back and get his. And at home, you expect he's gonna get his. So you take the 2 of them out of the equation. Who's big? Who's big on both sides?
I got you. Fucking Williams ass. He disappeared last game. You know what I'm saying? He went the way of Gilchrist. You know what I'm saying? He like, fuck, my boy ain't playing. If Batman can't play, fucking Rodden can't either. So, same shit. He's got to fucking get his shit back to where the fuck he was so that he can be that, that dynamic duo to be able to help the team. So that's going to be my biggest thing. I do think OKC, will probably win the next game, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, how about on the Minnesota side?
On Minnesota side, let's see here. Minnesota. I'm gonna say it's got to be the defensive intensity. We're gonna say Gobert. Gobert's got to play and match that intensity that he had the last game. Where he was turnovers and being a factor instead of a liability. So much we talk about Gobert, defensive player year to year, as a liability, but this game he was actually, what I'm saying, a big help to the team. So I'm gonna say Gobert is gonna be one of the biggest keys to anchoring this defense, to slowing down that pick and roll that they're constantly running at them.
Okay, all right, Brian, what you think? Who you think is the keys on both sides?
Well, for Minnesota, I think it's got to be several players because the only way they're gonna beat OKC if they have a bunch of players step up. So I think those role players, the ones who stepped up yesterday, Nas Reed, what's his name?
DiVincenzo.
Them two. But Randall got to step up again too. I mean, like I say, for them to beat OKC, they're gonna need a good team effort. But I'm telling you, bring it back in Shannon, and I'm giving him some minutes because the way he played that game yesterday, I think they do got to squeeze him some minutes in too. Because one thing about him, he's an offensive player and he can't score the basketball. And those first 2 games, they showed that they struggled, but he came in and gave him a big lift. So I think for them, I think just them being at home, I think they're gonna need those role players and Randall to step up. So to beat OKC, they're gonna need a whole team victory.
Right.
I mean, everybody to step up. But I mean, and one thing Q said was, I mean, which is true. They do need Gobert to step up, and he did play a lot better yesterday.
Yeah.
He had, I mean, he played good. He played good defensively, and then he was decent around the rim. Because those first 2 games, I don't know what the hell he was doing. So they gonna need some everybody. For OKC,
OKC.
For OKC, of course the obvious answer is Williams because that's the number 2 guy. But I'm gonna tell you too, they need those guys to come off the bench and play the way they play because Wallace and I can't think of the other guy. What is it? Wallace and Watson. They need them 2 guys to come in and play good as well because when them 2 guys come off the bench and play well, OKC usually does good because I see them win games in this playoffs by themselves. So, but you throw Chet in there, I mean this and that, but I think Williams and then their bench has to play better for them to step up and win game 3.
Yeah, Williams, Mitchell, Isaiah Joe. Yeah, those guys. I think Wiggins. Yeah. I think those. How about you, Tweety? What do you see in this one?
For OKC, I got Alex Caruso. That boy is a dog on defense guard.
He said it because he's X-Flaker. Like, you're so fucking predictable. Oh my god!
You ever see that boy play defense?
That motherfucker picked through all the players on the court, and he picked one guy that used to play the Lakers.
Caruso.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
So you know what he goes on the other side.
He wasn't playing defense yesterday. He wasn't playing defense yesterday. That motherfucker was getting lit up.
We talking about They had that motherfucking headband sideways yesterday, motherfucker.
All right, so
that was yesterday.
So you got Caruso on one side. Anybody else for OKC?
Yeah, you got to say Dort. Dort got to step up now. He got to hit some shots. And guard somebody. You know what I mean? He guard people, but he got to make some shots also. So and those 2, they got 2 7-footers. They got that Chet and then Hartenstein.
Yeah, Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein.
Yeah. They gotta get some rebounds, offensive rebounds, some points. They gotta chip in.
Okay.
It's they whole bench they gotta step up.
Now if you're capable of doing it because you so
they gotta help them out.
You so biased because you picked OKC. Can you even say something for Minnesota? Who are the keys to victory on the Minnesota side? If you take out Ant-Man, who else do you see over there?
Randall.
Okay.
Randall, he can't be up and down. He can't be the roller coaster. He got to be consistent across the board and help out Ant.
Yeah, I read that.
Randall's got to do his thing. But let me one point I want to make.
Go ahead, Q.
You finished, brother. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. And and DiVincenzo. Well, how you have
DiVincenzo?
Yeah, he has to hit some shots for them.
But you know what? Martin said something that made me think about something. I forgot, and I should have mentioned this guy. I think out of all the players, we know Julius Randle got to do what he got to do. But the next most important motherfucker on that team is got to be Naz Reid. Naz Reid has got to give them the same game that he gave them this game. Naz Reid was a bad man. Naz Reid turned the clock back.
He's got to do better. Game. He's got to do better than yesterday. Yesterday he only had 10 points. So I think he's got to do better.
He's better on defense. He's better around the hole. Yeah. He hit his open threes.
Yeah.
Well, so that means he only hit 2 threes, but so that means he really didn't do too many.
No, he didn't take a lot of threes. He didn't take a lot of threes. He hit 2 out of 3.
But he hit, but he hit him. He hit him though. You know.
Yeah, I think you need to give him more than that.
I would say he need a better game too, right? A little bit better. I would say 2.
So I would say. Go ahead, Mark.
Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say that the first 2 games, the 2 big guys, Chet and Hartenstein, they killed Nas and Gobert. Yeah. But yesterday, you tell the difference when the 2 big guys, Minnesota stepped up.
Right.
So they stood up yesterday and played better. They did.
So I would say this. I would say coming off of a blowout loss, obviously OKC is going to be focused as fuck, and they're going to be like they say when you get on the road. It's better to be on the road and get blown out than be at home because what happens is that then the team is together as opposed to everybody going home and doing their thing. So the team is together. They wallow in the loss and it really amps them up. So I would say the effort coming out of OKC tomorrow after getting blown out is going to be huge. So what I would tell you and that's why I say with Minnesota that I think Nas is key. He got to give him more. Nas got to give him 20 points. off the bench. And I would tell you DiVincenzo off the bench. So their bench has got to produce because OKC's bench probably won't have another down game like they did yesterday. So Minnesota's bench, Naz Reid, I think DiVincenzo, and I do think Martin, once again, playing Shannon again, like you said. I think those three, they got to get probably 40 points out of those three because what they're going to get out of OKC is going to be focused as fuck. So you're not going to beat them with the same game you just played. You got to beat them and play even better, and your bench has got to be ones to do it. I think so. That's what I would say for the Minnesota side. And lastly, I would say is Gobert play better. I think Gobert's got to dominate the boards. They got to out-rebound them. Yesterday, do you know they out-rebounded them yesterday? OKC got out-rebounded by Minnesota 50-31. So you have to get a duplicate performance of that as well, which means OKC's not getting extra shots, which means that Minnesota's getting second shots and those things. So I think that's what Minnesota needs is that collection of guys to do their thing. OKC is going to come in focused. OKC is going to be driven. I think SGA going to have a big game, but I would say minusing him out the equation, as I said, and look at the other guys. I think Isaiah Joe, I think Wiggins, I think Williams, I think all those guys have to play big because their top guy, he ain't going to have another down game. So with him, if him and cancels each other out, then those other guys, they got to step up. And the bench in particular, they've won like 2 or 3 games in the playoffs where the starters didn't even play good and the bench carried them to a victory. So I think they need one of those type of performances out of their bench in order to be able to come in and beat Minnesota. Because Minnesota knows, hey, they lose the next game tomorrow, they know the series is over for the most part. You're down 3-1, it's just like 3-0. Right? You're not coming back and winning 3 in a row. So I think that is probably yeah. They're not gonna beat OKC 3 times in a row.
You got a snowball's chance in hell at 3-1.
Not even that. Yeah,
Minnesota.
They ain't beat OKC
Yes,
3
you
times.
do. Yes, you
No.
do. It's been some teams that come back from 3-1.
They're not beating.
That's about it. They ain't been too many.
They're not beating.
I didn't say it was a whole lot, but
they're not beating that OKC team 3 times in a row because Minnesota can't play that consistent 3 times in a row, and OKC ain't not gonna play bad 3 games in a row. They get down 3-1. This motherfucker's over. You can cancel Christmas. So they gotta win.
Not just 3 times in a row. 2 of them in OKC.
Yeah, in OKC. Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Ain't nobody talk about Conley, their point guard.
Oh, he played good yesterday. He played good yesterday. He played good yesterday.
Yeah, he had a good game yesterday.
He turned the clock back a little bit.
He used some shots.
Yesterday.
Yeah, he used some shots yesterday.
He turned the clock back a little bit. He
did.
He
used some shots. So we got to give him credit.
Yesterday, they got something out of everybody yesterday. I think. They got a lot out of everybody yesterday.
Yeah.
Which they gonna need that same effort. They gonna need that same effort for next game because, like Rod said, OKC is coming.
Yeah,
they coming.
They coming.
You can see it on the bench when Minnesota was laughing and shooting 3-pointers and joking and shit running down the court. They showed SGA and them on the bench. Them motherfuckers was hot. They was hot. Remember Randall was shooting 3 off the backboard and shit, and motherfuckers laughing and joking and shit. Yeah, they showed SGA and them motherfuckers mad as hell on the bench. So I'm telling you, they gonna bring it. They gonna bring it this next game. They gonna be focused as fuck. So they gonna be focused as fuck. So I think it's gonna be I think you got an opportunity to be a great game. I look forward to actually watching it. All right, we're gonna pick it real quick so we get a chance. Go ahead, Q, and we'll then jump off. Go ahead, what you got to say?
Hey, normally I don't do this, but I'm jumping ship. Fuck that. I'm going with OKC. I can't go down in flames with these motherfuckers. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm switching.
You doing a Rodney? You doing Rodney? Right in the middle of the series?
Yeah, fuck
the hell out of here.
OKC gonna win this motherfucker series. I'm going with OKC.
It ain't the first time ever, but anyway. All right, hey, look, now we're gonna pivot. We had some stuff that killed the airwaves all week. Was a discussion around Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And then after that, you had a little bit of banter going back and forth, which I thought was funny as fuck between Ryan Clark and RG3. So we're going to talk a little bit about both of those. So I would say, first off, when you look at the situation, each of you, as you look at it, what are your thoughts on the play that was in question? So the play that brought all the hoopla, and do you think it deserved the media attention that it received. So the play that happened, was it bigger than what it actually was, and did it deserve all the attention? Tweety, what you got on that one?
It was just a hard foul that she did on Angel Reese. It wasn't. It was just a take foul. That was all, because she was about to hit a layup by herself, and Caitlin was just under there. She just did a hard foul, and she did a little push at the end, but it wasn't. It wasn't the way that
was it.
Rolled around and stuff like that. It was just a little. It was a little push. It was harmless foul, and Angel Reese got upset because Caitlin been giving it to her for the whole since back in college. And
you're wrong.
Back in college,
you are so wrong about.
Caitlin been the team.
Do you know last time they met in college? You know last time they met in college was a national championship, right?
When you better clean this shit up.
The head-to-head matchup is Caitlin winning and Reese losing.
That ain't true.
What the fuck?
No. Let me just stop this shit right now. I gotta stop this shit right now.
All right, Mark, you go next.
First of all, the play itself, it was a basketball foul, but when she did that push in the back, that's why Angel Reese got up and got mad. But that happens all the time. Right. I do think it was blown up, and it was blown up mainly because of goofball RG3. RG3 talking about that
she hated
Angel Reese hate her, and she was about to punch her, and come on now, RG3 stop
going too far.
That happened in basketball all the time. Where's a hard foul, and somebody get pushed down, and then the other person jumps up.
Agreed.
That happens all the time.
Agreed.
So I think he the one that started all this mess, really, by bringing that up and saying how much Angel Reese hate her and all this stuff, and then he got his wife in the back laughing and giggling and stuff. So that kind of started this whole thing. But to me, it was a hard foul. It was a push, and I understand totally why Angel Reese got up and did what she did, because that's what happens all the time in basketball. So,
yeah, it was a little acting.
That happens all the time. That happens all the time.
Right. Okay. All right. So
you fucking hater.
So go ahead, Q. What you think? Go ahead, Q. Jump in. What you think?
Tweety, you can't say that it was a basketball play and a little push at the end, and then say Angel Reese is acting in the same fucking thing. Come on, man. That ain't cool, man. That's just not cool. That's just not cool. It was a hard ass foul. It
wasn't that hard.
Hey, it was a hard foul, and yes, she extended her arms after she fouled her to make sure she sent her ass where she wanted her to go. She don't like her. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, I don't understand how it was made such a big deal, because right after the game, they asked her about it, and what did she say? She said it was a basketball play. Let's move on.
It was.
Yeah.
So why is the world and RG3 and everybody else making all this shit about it? If she can sit there right after the game, when her emotions are still high, and say it's a basketball play, let's move on, why is everybody blowing this up? Yeah. Everybody is looking for a chance to shit on this girl, and I'm tired of it. She ain't been getting. She's a great player, man. She is not Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is a special player, but she is on her own league. She is a very dominant, good fucking player. I'll let somebody else talk.
I'll say this. I think same thing. I think the fact of who it was and their history, right? They have a history of going back and forth on things. I think their history is what kind of blew it up, because I think it was a common foul. If you take it and put this into the NBA, then it never gets mentioned, right? So I think it's who it was, and it's the two highest profile players in the WNBA too. Not only do they have a history, they're two highest profile players in the league. So that's a part of it as well. And they both have a huge following. I think the thing of it, when I look at it as well, is I think that's good basketball. I think for the women's game to grow, continue to grow, you got to get some of that. The men's game actually has lost that, right? But when the men's game was the greatest, in my opinion, was when you had more rivalries, you had people going back and forth. So I think this is a new developing rivalry that does and bodes well for the WNBA, with the two of them both being young and then both being really good players, I think it's going to be, downstream. Hopefully, Angel reaches them, get a little bit more, another player or two, right, to catch up, and then it really becomes a competition. So I think that's for sure. So I would say when you look at the stuff back and forth between RG3 and Ryan Clark, who do you think was right and wrong in the situation? Was Ryan Clark, because the thought is that, okay, RG3 ran out the gate and talked about hate and really making a black woman look bad, and they got the angry black woman thing. But then on the other side, Ryan Clark brought in the family and all that stuff. So what do y'all think? What do you think about that? Q, what you got? What do you think about that one?
I'm not a big fan of what RG3 said. I think he should keep his mouth closed when it comes to certain situations about people, especially talking about black women. But I really didn't like what he said. I didn't catch the Ryan Clark side of it, so I'm a little behind on that part. But I definitely didn't like what RG3 said. Well, that's my take on it.
All right, Martin, what you think?
Bullshit. It was some bullshit. RG3 was on some bullshit because first of all, he like I said, he didn't want to start the whole thing talking about Reese hate, Reese hater, Reese jumped up, was about to sucker punch her and all that stuff. And then not just that, but him putting down a young sister like that. And then I'm just saying he got his white wife in the bag laughing and giggling and all that stuff. I thought that was very unprofessional. That's just me.
Yeah,
absolutely. He got rolling his eyes and rolling his neck and stuff and all this stuff, and he trying to put Reese down like that, and then act like she's this angry young black woman just because she jumped up when she got fouled. Come on now.
We all do.
And with Ryan Clark now, and Ryan Clark really did talk bad about his wife or nothing. He just said that she was. I mean, he just said that he had her in the
don't know nothing.
Laughing and giggling and stuff.
Yeah, he said RG3 couldn't speak on it because he don't know about having a black woman.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah,
he wouldn't know that back because he don't get with black women, right? That's what what he said.
Yeah.
So
but both of them was wrong. Both of them was wrong. Yeah. Both of them was wrong. You know what I mean? Both of them was wrong for bringing up, she being an angry black woman, and him for his family. Him bringing up his family. So both of them was wrong. It should never happen. And they, both of them apologize and keep it moving.
I'll tell you first.
Both of them got history.
Oh yeah, they hate each other.
History. Yeah, they got history before this. So this ain't something new.
Hey, them niggas hate each other.
They know they played together and all that stuff. Yeah. So just a heads up.
Right. Yeah. Them two niggas hate each other right off jump. Right. And I'll tell you.
Right.
If you go back and look through historically, there's really a lot of people that don't like RG3. I'm not going to say the whole thing was his fault. I think he was wrong out the gate to throw my party in. I think I'm along the same lines where everybody is. He was wrong out the gate because, look, if you ain't got nothing good to say sometimes, just shut the fuck up, right? Don't go and start throwing negative on top of this girl, right? When she's a player, and all of us in that situation are going to jump up, and it's an emotional game. So don't go with the bullshit, right? So keep your mouth shut. On the other side of it, Ryan Clark, I think he insinuated, he didn't talk bad about his wife. It's more about RG3 was his comments. RG3. So when everybody was saying he brought his family into it, he really didn't. It was really about RG3, saying RG3 doesn't know what he doesn't have any idea about angry black woman because he ain't got one, right? That was more with his comment. But regardless, he took it to a level that he shouldn't have. He should have kept it to the field. So I think both shared in being incorrect in the situation. Good, they apologize. That was the right thing to do. Let's keep it moving. And I look forward this rivalry to continue to build. I think it's great for the women's game. I think the visibility of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, because she has a huge fucking following too. I think the two of them and their teams, like I said, Angel Reese's team needs to get a little better, but their team get a little better. This is going to be something big for the WNBA. It's going to help blow it up.
Man.
The two of them.
It already has. It already has. They are the yin to the yang to each other.
Yeah,
they are, every time they play each other is must see TV.
Yeah,
it's Larry Bird versus Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
For women, that's how big it is. Can we enlighten Tweety on some of Miss Reese's accomplishments?
I'm not talking about accomplishment. I'm talking about head to head in the WNBA.
No.
Just in the WNBA.
Earlier with the motherfuckers. Hey, but what the motherfucker said earlier was he said, all the way back to college when the last time they played in college. Angel Reese whipped their ass in the championship.
In the game.
Yeah.
WNBA.
Hey, clean that shit up. Clean that
shit up. Yeah, I'm cleaning it up. Clean that shit up. Clean that shit up quick. Because that's some bullshit. Because I seen the girl get whooped in the championship game.
I did too.
The biggest game they lost. In the biggest game they played, I seen that girl get whooped. So watch it. Watch it, RG Jr.
Exactly. Hey, brother, we take nothing
RG Jr. over there. Look at him.
All right. Yeah, he is. We take nothing away from Caitlin. We know Caitlin is great. We know she's a great player. But Angel Reese, you know what I'm saying? She's the first player in WNBA history to hit the 450 club. You know, that's rebounds and points. You know what I'm saying? And the fastest. 35 games, right?
And she set the record last year for the most consecutive and the most in one season double-doubles, points and rebounds. So she had the not just the rookie record, she set the league record as well as the most consecutive games with the double-double. So she ain't no slouch. No, she ain't no slouch.
You know what they say? I love Angel Reese. I love how she played. I'm saying head-to-head in the NBA.
You know, I got something else too that she bet. Hey, I got something else too. I got something else, Tweety.
Go ahead, Martin.
She looked better too. I mean, she's a pretty girl compared to Kate. She does look better too. I'm just saying.
All right. Hey, so we winding down our time. So we're gonna come back, and our final thought is going to be: give me your pick for the two games that come up. The game today. We'll go around first and get everybody's pick for today's game. And then we're gonna go around and get the pick for tomorrow's game. So let's go around. Go ahead, Tweety. Who you got for today's game? Is it that obvious or what?
Oh, it's too obvious. They gotta win today. New York gotta win today. So just everybody put your money on the Knicks today because it's obvious. They have to win.
You have to say put our
money on it. They have to win.
I'm second guessing.
All right,
they have to win.
All right, they do have to win. That don't mean they gonna win, but they do have to win. How about Q? Who you got?
They gonna win.
I'm gonna have to say the Knicks because you know you gotta go down swinging. So
okay,
I'm gonna say the Knicks. The Knicks find something today and figure it out. If they don't, it's over with. But you know, I think they'll find something today.
All right, Martin, you up?
Y'all talking like the first two games like we got blew up at 20 points or something. I'm just saying, goddamn, the Knicks is gonna figure it out. It's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a close game, just like the first two games were close games. And we're gonna find a way to figure out down the stretch. We will win this game today. We ain't gonna win because we gotta win or this and that. We're gonna win because we're gonna be a better team.
You gotta win.
Yeah, we're gonna be the better team, and we're gonna win the game.
Oh, okay. Desperation. He's gonna set in.
Better team desperation.
I'm gonna finish up with this one. I hate when everybody bets one side. Normally you get the other side, but what I'm gonna say is I think today the Knicks have proven to be in the playoffs this year a good road team. So I think they're gonna go on the road. They're gonna take care of their business. They're going to handle themselves better down the stretch. I think Towns comes up big today. I think Towns gonna have a big game. I think he's gonna bounce back. So I think the Knicks are going to win today. So I would say if you're betting, take the Knicks. We'll see what happens. All right, now flipping over to the big game tomorrow. We could have a 2-2 series tied before we jump back on Tuesday. So let's go for this one. Martin, who you got in the big Western Conference game?
Tweety, I'm sorry to bust your bubble. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, Tweety. It's gonna be 2-2 going back to OKC. Minnesota is going to come out with that same intensity tomorrow. And, of course, OKC is going to step it up. But I just think that Minnesota being at home and it shows them role players going to step up. And OKC role players is not going to be that great tomorrow. And Minnesota will tie this thing up 2-2 going back to OKC.
Do you book it or what?
Book it.
All right, hey, all right, cue you up. Who you like in the game tomorrow?
You know, during the game when they was getting their ass kicked, OKC was getting their ass kicked. I seen Shea killed Alexander sitting on the bench saying, "We ain't matched the intensity. If we had matched the intensity, I'm not saying we would have won, but we'd have been in this motherfucking game." You know what I'm saying? So I do believe, like Rod said earlier, this team will galvanize because they are sitting in a hotel room together with nothing to do but talk about that ass whooping. And I do believe that they will come out and they will beat Minnesota on their home floor tomorrow night.
Okay, all right. Okay, see, all right, Tweety. You the tiebreaker at this point, and then I'll weigh in and get mine. Tweety, what you got?
All right, no, where this is going.
It'll be obvious.
It's gonna be a better game tomorrow. It's gonna be a tighter game, but tomorrow it's gonna be tied.
Oh shit!
So they can go back home.
Can
go back home and close them out.
Goddamn.
Yes. Oh my god.
So they can go back home and close them out.
Yeah,
I got Minnesota to win tomorrow.
I tried with you, Tweety, but I don't know what the fuck. Man.
Hey, look. Besides Tweety hating on Angel Reese, that's the biggest surprise of the fucking live stream.
That's a big surprise right there. That's a big surprise.
Yeah, man. I'm like blown. I already wrote down OKC.
Man.
I'd already wrote down OKC. Shit. I'm like, what the hell?
I knew that was coming. I already knew that was coming.
All right, here's what I say. I think they stewed over it. I think OKC is going to come out and it's going to be extra aggressive. I think they're going to jump on top of Minnesota early, but I think Minnesota erodes away at the lead. They make it where it's reasonable at halftime. I think they're going to be down slightly at halftime because OKC is going to be super motivated. I think the second half comes out, and I think Ant sets the tone. I think Nas has a big game, and in particular, a big second half. And I think Gobert is going to be a presence on the boards and in the middle area. I think Minnesota gets the dub, and I think Minnesota wins the game. Book it. I think it's going to be 2-2 going back, and we got ourselves a series, and potentially a 7-game series coming out of the Western Conference. We'll see what the Eastern Conference is. I think the Eastern Conference won't be a short series either. I don't think either one of these are going to be short. I think they're about to get long because I think the other teams are going to show up and step up. So I think we're off to probably a 6- and 7-game series respectively on both sides of the equation. But I think Minnesota wins right now. And I'll tell you, I'm rooting for Minnesota too. So I'm going to tell you that now. I started at the beginning to pick Minnesota. I like Minnesota. I like Ant-Man. I like Nas Reed. I like Julius Randle has got to be the biggest winner in the entire playoffs, meaning that motherfucker has been balling in the playoffs. And he shook off any negatives that he had associated with him in New York. Julius Randle, I can really appreciate how he's playing. I'm happy for that dude, that he's playing so good and playing strong basketball. So, Tweety, you want to say something?
No, you go ahead because that ain't gonna happen.
I don't know how
OKC gonna win it in 6.
The other team gonna win.
Yeah, well, hey, that's what we got. Hey, so, I want to thank everyone who jumped on today. Please like and subscribe. And once again, shout out to our viewers that are in Bangladesh. We love you.
Holla, holla.
Hey, kudos and thanks to the women that tuned in and watched us recently as we've grown that quite as I say it. And then India ain't to be fucked with. A lot of people there. They making some moves.
What up, though?
But when it all comes down, we got we're in America, love America, but I love Detroit more. What up, though, Detroit? We here. Peace out. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon.